Hi everybody and welcome to the MoneyMan show, which we put through sports club, soccer club, the MoneyMan, everywhere.
Everywhere we can.
Everywhere. We're going to discuss the Champions League tonight. We've got two games, one more interesting to me than the other. In terms of Chelsea, to me, have pretty much wrapped up that tie, and with the 56% possession that they had in the first game, they pretty much bossed it, and I don't see them. Shakes, I think you believe there may be a draw tonight, but I can't see them losing to Porto at home tonight.
They only lose to West Brom.
They only lose to West Brom, yeah, absolutely. Do we need to talk much about the Chelsea game?
I mean, you were saying earlier that 1.85 odds looks like a really decent price on Chelsea, but Shakes did make the point that, just with a draw, they are through tonight.
Well, they can go through with a loss as well, but
So
yeah, it's certainly good. Look, I mean, that's the thing with Chelsea. They're 2-0 up already, so I expect them to go through. And if they wanted, they can also rest players if they want. I just don't think Porto have enough to breach their defense too many times. So imagine if he rests some players and I don't know, the score could be 1-1 or 0-0 or something.
Could be a pretty dull affair at Stamford Bridge, is what you're saying. I get that feeling as well, especially as Chelsea need to be pretty circumspect with chasing a top four position, which is by no ways guaranteed.
Yeah.
So there's everything to play for next year's Champions League, if that makes any sense to you.
Completely.
Yeah. Well, let's get on to the main course. For me, it has to be PSG at home against Bayern Munich.
Yeah. What a pity that Bayern Munich are missing, Lewandowski and Gnabry among a bunch of other.
Well, they're missing eight players.
They're missing 8 guys, but I mean, it's PSG playing some really nice soccer, and you would have liked for these quarterfinals to be like their full strength sides against one another,
Not if you're a PSG fan, you wouldn't.
Not, but if you're a soccer fan, you would.
Well, Canarby, 75% of their top 4 scorers' goals are out of the competition tonight. Lewandowski, I think he has 35 goals in 25 games. Canarby's got, I think, 9 goals. So you've got Thomas Muller, who's got 10, and they've got so many injuries. You've got Da Costa out, you've got Canarby out, you've got Hoffman out, Lewandowski, Roca, Sule, who went off in the first game, Tillman, and Toloso.
Goretzka is doubtful too.
And Goretzka is doubtful as well, and he's the guy that came on to replace Sule.
No,
that was Boateng.
Yeah, that was Boateng.
No, sorry, apologies, we do make mistakes.
Just in terms of what you're saying about the 75% of their goals scored, that sort of strike force is missing. What was interesting and frustrating about
even more if Cortes doesn't play.
Yeah, what was interesting about and frustrating about the last game was they created 31 chances as opposed to PSG's 6, I think.
Yeah.
When I was chatting to my mate about it, he was like, well, how could you bet sort of against for Bayern with Lewandowski out, with Gnabry out? I said, well, it wasn't an attacking issue. There were 31 chances created. He said, yes, but those 2 would have finished those 31 chances, and that was a good point.
Well, remember that they beat Barcelona last year 8-2.
Yeah.
So it could have well have been an 8, 9, 10 score with the amount of chances they created in that game. And that's why top-class finishers get top-class money.
Exactly.
Lewandowski, 35 goals in 25 games in any league is amazing. So when you don't have access to that type of finishing, that's why I canceled my bet. I mean, we did a whole video and I bet on Bayern. But then when Canarby came up, did he have a COVID issue, which he still obviously has?
Yeah.
He's got 9 goals. It's not a huge amount in the grand scheme of things, but it's enough. It was enough for me to change my bet and go with corners over 10, which it did. It came in easily. In fact, it came in the first
But
half.
you say, 9's not that many, but you look at a Bayern team where you've got him with 9 goals, Lewandowski with, 35. You've got Thomas Muller with 10 goals. You've
Cortes with 5.
Yeah, you've got your whole sort of striking force is scoring goals. It's not a case where you look, I think, Liverpool, I think Mane scored 3 goals in the last 21 matches, and then you've got Mo Salah with 17 or 18 or 19, something like that. So there's a huge imbalance there.
Yeah, well, we're going to have a great chat about Liverpool tomorrow and predictions on that game. But The thing for me that worried me about Bayern Munich is that they just don't have the same compactful midfield and defense that they had last year. They were sliced open, and those chances and there was a goal that was disallowed as well. So it could have been a lot worse for them, and I don't see it getting much better tonight. I don't see them winning this game.
Yeah, it'll be tough. I mean,
from the tie that I saw in the first leg, I actually think Bayern Munich actually dominated that tie. I think what PSG did really well was to catch them on the counter. And I'm expecting the same thing to go tonight. I think PSG are going to sit back and know that Bayern have to throw everything in order to equalize. And I think Mbappe's pace and Neymar, they're just going to be on the counter. And I'm actually even looking at the odds here. For Mbappe to score is 2.12. That's not bad. And for Thomas Muller to score, it's 2.56.
Sorry, Shakes. It's not about equalizing, because a 1-0 win doesn't do it for them, does it?
Yeah, 1-0 win doesn't do it for them. You're right. They have to win.
They have to score 2 goals.
That's a very good. They have to score more goals. So I think PSG are going to adopt the same tactics in the sense that just sit back, hit them on the counter, hit them on the counter, hit them on the counter, and then they could carve them apart with the defense that they have as well.
Look, I think, looking to a corner bet may not be the worst idea again, because if you looked at how they played, it's just using their pace up the left and right wings, and you had Sané and Koeman like milking corners, especially in that first half. And I don't see why they would do anything differently, given the number of chances that it created. I think, Bayern's issue is one that can't necessarily be addressed in the week, and it is defensive frailties when they're not on the attacking front foot.
Well, they play such a high line that they didn't have to adjust much when Boateng came on from Sule. So they didn't have to do much and make much adjustments. That's the style of play. They play a very high line. Maybe they couldn't see each other in the snow, because the first half was pretty like a fairy tale in Munich.
Yeah.
But you've got to fancy. It's going to be a spectacle either way. I mean, the way I see the game playing out, I see a lot of I see over 4.5, over 3.5 yellow cards.
Okay.
I see Bayern Munich being more penalised than PSG. You've got Arusto, who's refereeing from Italy, and those guys to throw out yellow cards like confetti.
Do you see a lot of goals?
I do see a lot of goals. I see. Last week I didn't like the over 3.5, but I remember, Shakes, I asked you what the odds were. I think they were 2.34, which just wasn't enough for me. But clearly the bookies had it right again. It came in at 5. I see at least 3 to 4 goals in this game. I see maybe a sending off. I see a lot of corners, especially for Bayern Munich. So Bayern Munich will win the corner match bet. The Bayern Munich will win the yellow card match bet. But it'll be a hell of an entertaining game.
Yeah.
What do you think, Shakes? My prediction for tonight is, I predict 4 goals, 2-2, 4 yellow cards, 13 corners, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Oh wow! Okay, so 2-2. That means obviously PSG goes through with that scoreline.
Yeah.
I think I'll have to be honest and say I think PSG is very lucky that Bayern don't have the rest of their players, because they created a lot of chances at home, and you just could see that the difference between Choupo-Moting and Lewandowski is it's too big. The gap is too big. Scoreline prediction, I'd probably have to say 2-1 to Bayern, but Bayern still get knocked out. So
they get knocked out in extra time.
I wouldn't say extra time, because the final score ended 3-2. So I think
Yes, God, the 3. It was 3 for so they get knocked out. Sorry.
2-1, but they'll still get knocked out.
Yeah. So sorry for this. Really, just my first coffee of the day. So in essence, Bayern have to win by 2 or more unless they score 4 goals. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they have to win by 2 or more. If they score 3 and concede 2, then it obviously goes into extra time. Yeah. But they have to score a lot of goals today, because you're right. PSG scoring 3 away helps them quite a lot. So I see Bayern 2-1, but they still get knocked out.
Yeah, I think both teams rested a lot of players this weekend in anticipation, but certainly Bayern did. I mean, they drew with Union Berlin.
PSG romped to a 4-1 win.
Yeah, they were over Strasbourg, and I think my social team drew with them last week or last month.
What position were you playing?
I was on the bench. Yeah. So I'm just taking the piss. You know us old people, we like to take the piss. It should be a great game though, eh?
Yeah, I think I'm with you on the draw. I definitely could see it being a 2-2.
Yeah.
PSG obviously won't be too sad about that. So.
No.
Yeah, I think what was so evident, in last week's game was Bayern just are lacking that finishing power that just dominates teams. They're not lacking in creation, they're not lacking in attacking football, but it's finishers are there for that reason. It's to find the net, and they're not doing that. So.
Well, here's the problem with Bayern. They're defensively frail. They're not as compact as they were last year. They're missing their two top goal scorers and playmakers, with the exception of Müller, who's decent. But you take out someone like Lewandowski. I mean, if you were to take out Salah from Liverpool and Jota,
yeah,
you take out so much of their attacking force. And it's
you
even
might be jinxing it. Sorry, I think with Liverpool's. Can we just touch wood? Because
look,
with Liverpool's luck, there goes Salah and Jota before tomorrow's game.
Yeah, look, I've got a feeling, and it could just be gas. But I had a feeling that Mane is going to have a big game tomorrow.
Kind of needs to.
Not really. I mean, he needs to if Liverpool want to progress, but I mean, not for his career. I mean, the criticism I think he's coming in for is a bit unfair.
I don't know. 3 goals in 21 games.
Is it a bit? Kevin, it's a bit unfair. Is it a bit unfair? I don't know if it's a bit unfair.
Let's not get you wound up, Shakes.
This is for tomorrow's chat.
I'm just throwing out a little bit of bait there, and you took it. You took the whole thing, man.
Of course.
The disclaimer is you are an Arsenal fan, Hank.
I am. Very, very much so. Very past Slavia Prague on Thursday. But with regards to the game tonight, I'm expecting goals. I think if anyone who's placing bets, make sure you place bets on the right anytime goal scorer. It just depends who, though, because the odds are pretty good on the goal scorers here.
Look, this game could go so many ways, because if they don't get that first goal in such a quick time, and I think that was a goalkeeping mistake more than anything else. If they don't get that goal, PSG, in the first game, then they're under pressure, and it's a different sort of thing. But that ifs and buts were candies and nuts, as we used to say back in the day. I think it's going to be a highly entertaining game. You've got so many issues with Bayern that this is, if Mbappe and Neymar don't see this home tonight, they may never come this close again.
Yeah. There's still other teams to still play, so we'll still see.
Yeah, but there's less teams to play after Wednesday.
Yeah, but less teams doesn't mean the chances are still great. I think PSG will get smashed by Man City if they face each other.
Oh, so do I, but let's not worry about that until it happens.
Yeah, well, I guess so. Let's not worry about that till it happens. Yes, you're right.
But Leeds did hammer Man City on the weekend.
Hey, with 10 men, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, that's all we need. We should never play with more than we need. I didn't see any messages coming through for you and Shakes when we knock off Man City, the biggest club, the best club in Europe, arguably right now.
But I lost my bet.
Oh, was that your banker?
No, it wasn't necessarily my banker. It was one of the very few that I lost. So in the eight multi-bet slip, I lost twice, and one of those was Leeds heroics.
I think that's the kind of game you just don't include in your accumulator, though.
That's what my dad calls, and he
I
was.
thought it was a walkover. I thought it was a walkover, wasn't it? Man City against Leeds, walkover that thing. But guess not.
Are you making any bets tonight, Shake? So we give some advice for people out there.
If I was to be making bets, I'm gonna go anytime goal scorer. 2 singular bets. I'll say one on Kylian Mbappe to score. I think he definitely will score. And also another one on Thomas Muller. I think Thomas Muller will score. Both of them have odds of over 2.56 and 2.12. So not too bad, not too shabby.
Who are you picking to win in Bayern Munich, Paris, PSG?
Bayern Munich for me to win tonight, but they're getting knocked out.
Yeah.
But they're winning tonight. So 2-1 to Bayern Munich.
Interesting, huh? Let's have a look at the bookings. PSG, see, I love that bet. Bayern Munich to be the most booked team. They were at home. I just fancy them at the most 3-1. I'm going to put down. I'm going to put down a couple $100 on that. Yeah, it should be an interesting thing. I mean, yeah, I'm going to take that. I'm probably going to take the draw at 4-1. I'm going to make some long shot bets tonight. You know, my soccer's been. I think I'm 9-2 in my soccer over the last 11 bets.
Okay. And Oliver, you making any bets?
I've got a small multi-bet down, very small. I've gone Chelsea for an outright win, and then I've gone with a combination of a double chance, Bayern or draw, and over 1.5 goals, and that gives you odds of 2.89.
Look, I was doing a lot of research this weekend, and you know, the one thing I did discover is a Betway in terms of its odds are better than almost everybody out there on almost combined sports. You know, the odds in terms of rugby and the American sports that I play on and whatnot, they were better by 5 to 7% across the board. So, you know, you can do worse than have a Betway account.
Except when you just keep losing.
Except when you, yeah, well, it's okay. You're still learning.
You'll get there next year, 2022.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, thanks guys for coming in. Look forward to our Liverpool discussion tomorrow, Shakes. Calm down, eh? I want you to take some.
Very interesting.
I want you to take some Ritalin or some sort of Prozac or some sort of opioid tomorrow, just to calm down when I get on about Liverpool and Mane and why he's a bit maligned this year.
I definitely will do that. I'll take some calming pills, and then everything should be all right.
Cool. Well, thanks for coming in, Shakes. Ollie, thanks. Always a pleasure.
Thanks,
and should be one hell of a game tonight.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Just Shakes.
Cheers, Shakes.